it to me there.
Yes, miss.
All right. So we are just quickly, let me bring up the, I'm just going to present my entire screen so I don't have to be switching between the things all the while. So, all right, you're seeing my screen now? May take a second to come up. All right, you should be able to see my screen now.
No, miss.
You're not seeing it yet?
No, miss.
No, miss.
Okay, hold on. All right, should be able to see it now. Don't know why if not.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right, see Microsoft Word, right? All right, good. So this is where everybody should be at. It says you are required to analyze the results and prepare the various report in preparation for the review meeting. So you're going to use the same information that you had in your spreadsheet in your database. So you don't need to have to go create new things already again. And I'm going to just quickly go through how you create the tables because all of this you should already know how to do. I'm just going to do one and then you do the rest of it. Then I'm going to skip over to one that I created before so that you see what you're supposed to do. So when you are creating a new database, let me close this. So when you're creating a new database, something. All right, so you go to Microsoft Access, you open Microsoft Access, that's what you use for the database. You should have been paying attention to classes last year before we gone off with Mr. Rowe. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. And yes, I know yes, I never understand anything, but you'll catch up. So when Microsoft Access opens, you're going to select blank database. When you select blank database, this will come up and then you're going to give your database a name. If you're using your computer to store it first, then you can store here. If it is that you're using your flash drive, you have to click browse and then find your flash drive and create it there. I don't have my flash drive in this computer at the moment, so it will not come up. So I'm going to save it. So when it comes up like this, you find your flash drive wherever it is over here, click on it and then put in the name for your database and you're done. I'm going to create mine in my documents and I think you are to, let me go to my paper because I'm using paper on the screen. So let's say we are going to call it, whatever this, I think the name of the height. Good afternoon, hi. So I'm quickly, for those of you just joining, I'm quickly going through the, I'm going to quickly go through the data, the spread, the SBS so you can continue and don't have to. So you're going, let's call it, it's Better Educational High School or whatever you want to call it, but don't call it anything way out, preferably close to what it is that you are doing. So you do that and then you select OK. If you're using your thumb drive, you would find your thumb drive over here, click on it and then put the name in and select OK. Now when you do that, then you're going to select create. That's how you create a database. Now, when you go to your database, it says the first task you're supposed to be tables. Now, it says create and populate the table based on the details presented below. That is what so here's your table. So your table has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields. You go
Yes,
about doing that, you have to go to, so you go to create, and then you select table. Then when you're finished, you're going to select, when your table comes up over here, you have the different views. To create the name of your fields and select your data type and all of that, you go to design view. Design view is the one that is a triangle with a pencil and the ruler at the bottom. So, or if you click on it, you will see design view, data sheet view. Design view is where you put in the name of your fields and the field size and all of that. When you want to enter data to the table, you go to data sheet view. So you're going to select design view. When you select design view, it's going to ask you to name the table. If you were using table 1, you would have just gone to the, instead of selecting create, you would have gone to, but if you created table 1 already and then you wanted to create the second table, you select create. So here, it comes up, you have to save the table first. It's just think of it this way. If you're going to catch water, you have to have the bucket first. Isn't that so? You can't just go got a pipe, go stand up and expect to catch water. You have to have the bucket. So basically, when we're creating the table is where your information is going to be stored. Once you create your tables correctly, then everything else comes easy for you, because all you need to do, the table is the base of your database. So you want to call your table student. So the first thing on your question paper, it says create a table called, the table name is called student. So you call it student. Then, as a student with STUD. All right, then you select OK. Now by default, this is going to happen. So the student, yes?
Miss, is this class being recorded, Miss?
No, it's not being recorded.
So you could send it on the Google Classroom or look over it once again, or you start over.
Well, I'm not sure how to record it. I am not sure how to record this thing. I see.
Miss, my record is already.
This is not like this. I don't think I can record it. Yes.
Miss, my record.
You're recording it. All right, cool. Somebody's recording, so when they can put it in, send it to me and then. Okay, cool. So when you record it, then so when you go here, this is where you're going to create your field names. Now, your field name, your first field. When you see this little key, those of you using say 2007 or so, I'm using 2016. So my key looks a little different. Your key looks like a real key, and it's probably a yellow, but that means that this is your primary field. So when you look at your table, it says student ID text 5, and it tells you that it's a primary key. So what you can do, you don't have to take it off, you leave it. So you just type the first part of it. It says student STUID. It says the data type is supposed to be text. Mine says short text, long text. If you're using an earlier version, you will just see the word text. So it doesn't matter. Over here is where the description comes up. It's optional, but if you want, it says store student ID number. You can put in this information. And you do that until you finish creating your table. The next one is S underscore first name, FIRST. And then again, it's text, and you put in your description. I'm going to skip out a few things so that I can go quickly. Oh, when you go to short text, when you want to change where it says the field size, down here is where you change the field size. So you move from here, it says 255 by default. You want it to be 5, so you select 5, meaning that you can only enter 5 characters there. Student name is supposed to be 20 characters, so you come down, you clear out a 2 plus 55, you put 20, and you continue down the line until you have created all your fields. Short text, you create your field size here again. And the next one is going to be gender. Gender is short text, gender is going to be 1. And then you have date of birth. Date of birth is going to be date and time. And then you go down, class. And this is going to be text again, and then it is supposed to be, well, it says 20. Now, when you're finished, You would have, when you are going to put in the description part for yourself, I'm going to leave that because it's optional. I really don't have to create it, but I want you to do it. So you're going to, when you're finished doing this, you are going to save. So save is up here, or if you attempt to close it, what it's going to force you to save it. So you're going to select save. Once you do that, you go back to view, but this time you're going to select data sheet view. When you select data sheet view, here is where you can enter the information for each student. So now you're the same information you would have had in your say your Excel is the information you're going to put in this table. So your student ID, suppose your student ID, your first student ID would have been, hold on, let me go back to the spreadsheet section. BET. So your student ID would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I think, all right, so here's the trick. This student ID is supposed, it says 5. However, if you go back to your Excel, it is actually 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Or you can just put BET plus the number that you had. So what I want you to do, just increase the student ID amount from 5, sorry, go back to the design view, and instead of saying 5 for student ID, I'm going to put it to 12. So you can put in all of that. You save again, go back to data sheet view, and then you can put in your BETH, ADH, 01. So if that was the name of, that was the ID number you use, then that's the ID number that is going. And then you're going to put in the name of the person who is associated with this. Using my name, then the female, you can only put an MR, date of birth. You can either click on this little thing that comes up, calendar looking thing, or you can type it yourself. So in this case, the 12 of the 01st / 19, sorry, that's not 19. You persons in this database would have been born somewhere between 2002 and 2004. And your class would have been whether they were lower 6 or upper 6. All right, and then you keep doing that for each student until you have entered all the students in your spread in your database. Now, when you're finished doing the first table, you want to now go and create the second table. Now, when you're going to do that, you go to create, then you select table. Now you go back to design view, you save your table. In this case, the second table is going to be called parent. You're going to call the name, type the name of the table, save it, okay. And then you're going to add the information again. You're going to add the field. So in this case, again, student ID, and it's the primary key, and it's going to be called, and it's going to be, what do you call this now? This is going to be text. Everybody following me so far?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Really?
All right, good. All right, good. Because I've created this.
Including upper 6 and lower 6, right?
Everybody, all the students in the database is going to go in there, yes. All right, so when you create all of that, so I'm going to switch from this database that I'm using to one that I created before, but it's the same thing so that we can go quicker. So, all right, so we would have created a parent table. So now here's my parent table. I have created my parent table already. So what I wanted to do is all right. I think I'm going to go back to the original one because I'm going to have to show you something. I don't want to mix it up. All right, so short text, and you put in it again, because we have said the first one as 12, we're going to keep that as 12. Then you're going to go title, and by title means whether the person is Miss, Mr., Mrs., Doctor, all of that. And you put in your field size again, 3. Then P name is going to be, P first name is just simply mean parents' first name. Next one, and you keep going down and you finish until you finish.
Oh, miss, I must add in the parents them to miss.
Yes, you're going to add everything, but that part of it, you're going to have to make up the parents' name. Relationship is going to be whether they are the mother, the father, or the guardian. So for this case, in this case, you're going to relationship with your field size. Repeat.
No, Miss,
Then you
nothing,
have
Miss.
street address, and then you have parish. And guys, when you're typing in your database, I'm going to ask you, know what initial cap mean? Meaning the first letter is capital.
Yes, sir.
Don't type
Miss.
everything in common letter or capital letters, initial caps. Yes?
So you can put P, no, F for father and M for mother instead of right with mother and father.
No, and down the bottom, if you look at the bottom part of your question paper, it tells you what you must put down there. See that? Relation, MO for father, MO for mother, FA for father, GU for guardian. You see it?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. And guardian mean that the person is neither your mother or your father. It can be your auntie or your uncle or so, but just once it's one of them. But you can just put in anyone. It doesn't matter. All right?
Miss, miss.
So, yes. Yes.
It's easy. I can't see that back, miss.
Miss, you're recording the class, Miss.
Yeah,
Let's be a question.
Later, Miss, if you get
I
confused.
think Jaima or somebody is recording it. Yes.
Miss, can you see back them SBA question? The SBA or question them.
The SBA question is on Google Classroom and you're supposed to have it already.
Oh,
So God, that means you not start your SBA yet.
no, I'm gonna start that one there.
All right. Okay, what the question is, the question is on Google Classroom. It has always been there. All right, so that is what you do, and then when you're finished, go again.
A Microsoft, what name, Access?
Yes.
Alright.
Then you're going to, when you're finished creating a parent table, you're going to save it. And then the next thing you're going to do is now create the other table, which is a third table. The third table is called scores. So you go again, you go to create, you select the table name, and then you're going to go to design view. Here is design view. Remember, design view is where you create the field names. The second, put in the name of the table. In this case, it's going to be called scores. You select OK, and you put in your field names. Now, the first field name again is student ID. And please note, the student ID is the same student ID that you're using in the parents table, the same one you're using in the student table. All right? Why? So if you are talking, so if I'm talking about, say, Duvan Massop would have the same student ID in each in each table. All right? So score in the student, in this the score table, your first one you're gonna have is coursework. That is going to be number. Next one is going to be exam. And it's going to be number. The other one you have is award. And award is going to be text. And then you're going to have exam processing fee. Right? And exam processing fee is now currency. When you're finished, you save. All right, so now we have the three tables.
Miss, this is Microsoft Access, right, Miss?
Yes, I just said that a while ago. Well, listen.
Miss, the Wi-Fi, Miss. You did break up a little bit. That's why I'm fast again. Sorry.
Winter.
Okay. So this is access. So to go now to enter the data, you go to data sheet view. When you go to data sheet view, the same child you would have entered in your student table is the same child you're going to enter into your scores table. All right, the student table. So the first person in my student table is BETHEDH01. So I have to put the same ID number in my parent table. Somebody talking, attention. Screen and pay attention. All right, so the title. So I am now talking about the same student in the parent table. So when I go over the parent table, the ID number has to be the same. So the parent for this person is let's say, is a mother. So we're going to put Mrs. Or you can put Mrs. And you can put the name of your parent, Patrice. In this case, I'm calling Mrs. So that person is probably married to my father also. So Patrice Stevens relationship, MO. Street address, you put your address. You make up an address for the person. And then the parish, you put in the parish. The contact number, you make up a contact number again. You continue, do the same thing for the next person in the table. You get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Miss, how many students? Like 30 or
The same amount where then you see a spreadsheet.
Yes.
Remember, it's the same set of students who are in your spreadsheet are going to come over into your database. So it's not a new set of people. The same information you have in your spreadsheet. So if you have 30 students in your spreadsheet, it's the same 30 students come over, including the ID number and the name and everything from over there. So you get what I'm saying? Yes.
If I go write them over, I can copy them and paste them.
You can try and copy and paste them. Some parts of it you're able to copy and paste.
Excuse
But
me.
if you can't, you're going to have to just type them over. All right. So let's say my other student. I'm going to put two. Yes.
Miss.
Yes.
How long that miss it matter if the address long or short?
Not really. Give me just a second, guys. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks. All right. Yeah. Brianna, you're doing something? Huh? All right, guys. Sorry about that. All right, so you're going to now go and you enter all the same students that were in your data in your spreadsheet. So if you have BET, H102, and that person is you put in their date of birth, and you keep going. If that person is in the upper 6, you put that person in. You follow what I follow, you know?
Yes, miss.
All right, so now when you finish it, so what I want you to do, put in everybody in the student table. And when you're putting them in the student table, put them in going across. You put in everything for the first person, and then you go down the line till you put in all 30 persons. Then you go to the parent table, and you put in the same information again for the next, for the exact persons. BE, BH, BD, H102, sorry, 102. And then you put in the person's information. Mr. James. If this person is a father, you put in the address. Remember, some of these you're making them up as you go along. If you can't make them up, you get a phone book and just take some address out of it. Make up the phone numbers. And you do that slowly. When you get to the scores table now, so whatever scores that person had in the, whatever scores the person had in the data, sorry, the Excel, that's the score you're going to carry over into the scores table from the Excel. So if this person, if the first person, Nicola Stephen had 87 for her score. You have to put the coursework, you have to put her exam. Suppose she had 90 for her exam. You put in the 90. And suppose her award was honors. You put in honors. And then I think the question says that the processing fee is $500. You put in the $500. You do that for everybody who is supposed to be in. So they are no different. Hold on. They are the same people you're carrying over from the spreadsheet over into the database. Yes.
Miss World to make up the award we then get me side up on the paper.
You're supposed to would have done it in the spreadsheet. Remember, there's a part where you're supposed to select whether either get pass or honors. So you then know say over there, so right. So you go down there, so you put them in. Hear that?
Yes, miss.
Wait, miss.
Yes.
Miss never did really hear, miss. Miss, why you put the money, miss?
Because the question sheet tells you. Guys, can you give me about 5 minutes? I need to run outside to pick up something. The rain is coming over and I have something on the line. Can you just give me 5 minutes, please?
Sure, miss. Sure.
Yes, sir.
And then, what's up?
Yo.
Yeah. And then what's up, you with ease now? Yo, what's up? The TD word, dog. I want to explain it for me. See?
Which one that?
Just the basic, dog. Like just the floor plan alone, dog. Cause that part is still confusing, dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright guys, sorry about that. I am back. Nobody still here?
Yes, miss.
Alright. So it's alright, sorry about that. Alright, so as I was saying, the exam processing fee stated $500 all students paid. So you put that in for everybody, and you do that until you have every single person in your spreadsheet, in your database. All right?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. Now, when you're finished doing that, now the other thing that you need to do is to create a relationship. What your relationship does to this, it says your database is called a relational database, meaning all their tables are related, meaning the student table is related to the scores table. The scores table is the student table is related to the scores. The parents is related to the students. Agree with me? Because the same students get a particular score, and the student have a particular parent. You get that?
Yes, miss.
All right. So now, what I want you to do is to create a relationship. Again?
Miss, me not get where you say a while ago, miss.
All right. So you have 3 tables, right? And your 3 tables are related to each other. Isn't, for example, students BETHEDH 101 has a score so this stage, Nicola Stevens has a score in the scores table. Agree with me? See that?
Yes, miss.
And it's the same person have a parent in the parent table. Don't? So all 3 tables relate to each other. So if I go to the student, I know that student table, Nicola, the student is Nicola Stevens is BETHEDH 101. Her parents' name is Mrs. Patrice Stevens, and that's her mother. She lives in Glengorf, St. Catherine, and her phone number is this. So that is what we call a relational database. So what we have to do is to tell the database that how the tables are related or what connects each table to the other. So if you look at these 3 tables, which field connect each table to the other table? How do I know I'm talking about the same person in each table?
The student ID, miss.
Yes, thank you. Very good. The student ID. The student ID is the same for each person in each table. All right. So how to create a database? You have the relationship. You click database tools, then you select relationship. When you select relationship, show table, this is going to come up. What you're going to do is to add each of your table one time. So you click on parent, you click add. It will jump on the screen here. You click on score, you click add. You click on student and you click add. Then you close it. All right. Now, here's what you're going to do. I am just going to move around my tables a little. You don't have to move them around. Once you can connect them, it doesn't matter. But I am moving them around a little. You don't have to move them like mine. You just point to them, hold on the mouse button and drag. Now, if you notice, student ID, I just need to connect each one to the field that I'm connecting. So here's what I'm going to do. Click on student ID in the student table. You'll see it highlighted. Hold down your mouse button and just drag to scores. There you go. It says connect and it tells you student ID connected to student ID in the student table to the scores table. Click create and you go there. Then you do the same thing for your parent table. Click student ID in your student table. Hold down your mouse button, drag over to your parent table, release your button. Up here it says table, student ID, parent, student ID. You select create, and that's it.
Miss.
The relationship has been created. Yes.
Miss, what do you think your name already for, miss?
Database tools.
Miss, so, how may I get that, miss?
It's on your spreadsheet. When you go into the access, it's there. See the file home create external database tools. Microsoft Access. When you select database tools, you're going to see relationships.
What if we have Microsoft laptop?
Well, if you don't have a Microsoft laptop, you can get the Microsoft software on your computer. Or you are going to need the Microsoft software on your computer to do it.
Miss, can get a new computer, and miss?
So now you're going to have to get Microsoft Office.
Miss, how may I get it without even paying?
Well, that is the problem. You're going to have to figure out a way to get it. See if you find anybody who have it free can give you a copy, or you're going to have to buy it. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Miss, somebody give me a copy, miss, but now where?
Miss me
Why? Oh.
I'm lost all of my information, miss.
Like what?
The Excel. I've got to do it over back.
Well, at least you can do it quicker, you know what to do. I mean, I understand how you should save it and email it to yourself so that at least you have it in your email. Jaim says, oh, your computer has it on Jaim.
No, miss, I download it.
Oh, well, maybe I can explain to them how they can get a free copy.
Yes, miss.
All right, so Jai will probably explain to you after the class, so don't worry, don't not know. All right, so when you're finished doing this, you're going to save your relationship. Again, you go to the save icon, click on it, and it automatically saves it. If you try to close it without saving it, it's going to ask you, do you want to save? You select yes. When you do all of that, basically all you need to now do is to create your queries and your reports. How do you do this? Close this. All right, so now these are your three tables. You can close them if you want, but if not, you can leave them. Queries are basically, what queries do is that they select information from your tables and put them in one central table. So one of the good things, the thing is, if you have multiple tables, always create the relationship between your tables. So if you have multiple tables, meaning more than one, you create a relationship, and then you are able to create a query. So once you create your tables and create a relationship, you're creating your queries and your reports will be very easy. So you go to create, and then here's table, over here is query, over here is form, over here is report. So you want to create a query. So in this case, you could use query wizard, but we're not using query wizard, we're going to use query design. So you click on query design, and this appears. Now, if you go to your question paper, scroll down, it says queries. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 queries to do. It says list all female students scoring 80% or more for their exam score. Name this query F scores. This is a very simple, what we call a select query. So all you need to do is to go back to your database. Here's it. Now, which table tells you that the student is, which table tells you about the student, telling the student that the gender of the student? Which table has that information in there?
One which the student miss.
All right, so good, you add the student table. And which table tells you that, tells you about their exam scores?
Scores.
Okay, click on the scores table, you click add, then you close. All right, so in this case, I list all female students. So we want them to, so basically you want their name. So how do you do this? You can do two things. You can just come up here, double click on the field that you want, and it pops up on your grid down here. Or you come down here, click on the grid, there's a drop down arrow, and you select the field that you want. In this case, student last name. All right, so you tell the field and which table it is coming from. Then you want gender, because gender is what tells you whether they are male or female. Isn't that so?
Yes, miss.
All right, so double click. Oh, my machine now. Okay, so there you go. And then it says they want their exam score. So here in this case, you're going to click on exam and make sure exam score. However, it have criteria. The criteria says, does it want all the students or just female students?
Females.
All right. How do you know that a child, a person is female? The gender has to be what?
F.
F, exactly. So under criteria, you're just going to type F. And then score, it says the score must be what? Greater than what? 80%. Scoring 80% or more. All of us know the greater than sign. And we have equal, greater than or equal to 80. And there you go. When you're finished, you come up here, you can either choose run or you can take view. I choose to do run. I have one student with an exam score greater than 80. And there it is. See that? When you finish, you select save. And it says you must save it as F scores. And you're okay. Everybody get that?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. And then you're going to, the other one is a little tricky, number 2 is a little tricky, but what I'm going to skip over number 2, and then I'm going to just remind me to take about 5 minutes in another class on it, because we are now 1:21 and I want to finish this before, so that you can do the others, all right? So the next thing you're going to do is to create a query to include student ID, student name, parent name, relation to student, and overall score for each student. Oh, sorry. Oh, all right. Tell you what, I am going to continue queries, and I will. I don't want to run out of time. I only have 9 minutes left before, and you have a class directly after this. So I'm going to stop there for queries. But if you can figure out what to do, go ahead and do it. All right. The other one is a report. Your report is basically the same thing. You just go create, select report, but this time you use report wizard. And then you find the fields that you want. When you select report wizard, the thing will come up and the dialog box will come up. It's taking a little time for me. Yes? Okay. All right, so your report wizard box will come up, and what you can do is to select the fields that you want. So if you want go to find the table that has the information that you want, student, and you want the students, list all students. I guess you're going to want them first name and them last name. You click on the individual one and use a single one to carry over individual. If you want to carry over all the fields, then use a double one. And you do that until you get to the end and you are able to create your report. I'm not going to finish that. You're going to try and finish that by yourself. So that's basically how you do your database. All right. So that is how your database is done. I'm going to use like 5 minutes from another class, or I'll try and meet you another morning, like how we met last year, early one morning, and then I'll complete the other part so that you can finish up the database. Everybody understand how to create a table and how to put the information in there and how to create your relationship now.
Mrs. That take a good time for me to understand.
Well, you're gonna have to practice, because this is something that you would have done already. It's just that so happened that COVID come and we jump out of school, so this is kind of recapping. So this is what you're going to do now. So you're going to go back. I think Jaim is recording, so he'll send it to the group, send it to us, and then you can always watch it over and do what you're supposed to do. All right?
Yes, miss. Miss.
Yes.
Miss, when the SBA due?
I will tell you when I want all of it. So what I'm doing is for you to finish the different parts, and then I collect all of it. But as soon as you finish a part, you have to email it to me. I'm going to before I suggested that we create a dedicated email for the yes.
Miss, so the first part, miss.
Yes.
You never make a way in the so we can send it in. Or
That is what I'm going to
the email when you send it.
The email. So what I'm going to create another one, and I'm going to tell you the name of it just to send your SBA. So you don't have to be I don't have to be all over the place looking for each person's email. SBA. That is the only one. The only thing will go to that one is the SBA. So when I see it, when you're sending it to me, just write your name in the subject part of it. You just put Jaim Boris Duval Massop. So you just put your name. So I just look for that SBA. You get what I'm saying? So I don't have 1,000,001 email coming to it. I just have the SBA alone coming to it.
Yes, miss, I understand this. Yes, miss, I understand this.
All right, so I'm going to take the next 6 minutes and quickly run through the word processing. Now, although I did not teach you word processing, you people would have been using word processing before to type assignments. So it's fairly easy for you to do this, all right? So the word processing says that the first thing you have to do is create a letter. You know what? All of we in here can create a letter. We know what a letter is. We can write a letter, don't we?
Yes, miss.
All right, so here's the thing. It says letters of invitation must be sent to parents, guardians to attend a meeting to discuss their child's work progress. These letters are only sent to persons who have scored less than 80% in either classwork or exam. Right now, we are going to disregard that part here for a time, and then we're just going to create the letter first, right? What is going to be in the letter? It says, you are sending to the parent, whoever the parent is. You're going to tell them that a review will be held over 2 days, April 4 to 5th, 4 to 5, and it's supposed to be 2020 and 2021 and not 2019. Essentially, on April 4 to 5th, 2021, based on the following schedule. You tell them all this. They say, dear parent, a review meeting to discuss your child's performance will be held for 2 days on between April 4 to 5th, whatever. And you put in, based on the following schedule, you put in this information. All of this go right there. So, bam. When you're finished, it's the same thing coming down here. So, it says, be sent on official school stationery, should be under the signature of the principal. So, the name of the principal is Mrs. Orville Ibang. So when you get to the end of the letter, it's not, you're supposed to say, just like how Mr. Christie signed it, you say, Mr. Leighton Christie, principal. So at the bottom of yours is going to be Miss Orville Banks, principal. Follow that?
Yes, miss.
All right. So in it, you're also going to tell them, before you close off the letter with all of this down here, you're going to tell them that the deadline for responding to this letter is going to be March 31st, 2020. All right. Included in this letter, you're going to include a list of the age subjects, so you can choose any age subjects, the name of the teachers and the assigned rooms to facilitate the free flow of parents holiday. It's just like you're coming for report day. And when you come to report day, you go upstairs or you go up on the J block. In J1, you have Miss Stevens. Miss Stevens is supposed to deal with IT, but you can put that information in that table. In that table, let me show you. I have a sample of here, something like this. So you're going to type all of your things.
Miss.
Yes. Yes, I hear you. So what?
The SBA outline, miss.
That's the word processing outline part of it, yes.
Miss, when I finish that, miss, we done it?
No, you have two other parts to do. Yeah, so you're going to do that. You put your vitamin, discuss your child performance and April 5th, 4 and 5 based on the following schedule. All of that is in the is here. So, well, if you want, you can copy and paste it. But if not, I am copy and pasting because it makes things much easier for me right now. But because all of us think differently, you can type a letter, but make sure it have the same information. And make sure it is typed properly. And then you're going to say to them, here is a list. Yes.
Never mind.
Yo, Boris.
Ask now.
Miss, I wonder, how many, there's one day for right, miss?
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
Boris.
Yeah.
Yo, are you trying to use download or something?
We talk after Mr.
The access?
Class.
All right, so here's the thing now. So the teacher will be in the following room. So you put a table. The table has 3 columns: subject, teacher, room. So you put in for 8 subjects. I just put in 1. You can make up the rest of them. Suppose you want to say English language and you can make up the name of the teacher. You don't necessarily have to use the name of your teacher code. English language. Mr. James and Mr. James will be in AS2. That's the name of our room. You follow what I'm saying? And you do this with 8 subjects, and you go down the line. When you're finished, you probably, let me go outside this table. Where is the thing? Okay, this is kind of. All right, so the deadline. Which class have after this?
Miss?
Which class have after this?
Option, miss.
Option.
Okay. Alright, so this is not the entire letter. This is just me trying to show you what you're supposed to do. You are going to read the question and then you are going to craft the letter. All right?
Yes, miss.
So you have an idea. Everything must be the same size, whatever. All right, up here you see me have a little part like this. What it says, this is what official stationery means. You notice that every time Papin gives you a letter, it is on the school's letterhead. You know that?
No, miss.
You never get a letter from the school yet?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And when you get it, just one part, you see the crest, and you see the name of the school and the address. You don't see that. And down at the bottom, you see aim for the high
Yes,
speed.
yes,
Right. That is what I'm talking about a little
yes,
ahead.
miss.
So what I want you to do is you're going to create, that is what we mean by the official stationery. So you want to get a new file, and you're going to create a letterhead for the document. So you'll, oh, this thing is not coming up the way I want it. All right, so when you do that, you get a blank file, cancel. And I want it, it's supposed to be in the head of section. So you're going to go to insert, and then you're going to select header. This thing is taking a little time. I think it's because of sharing. You put the first one. And then you're going to put the name of the school. I'm just putting general stuff, so you know the name of the school. Address and contact information. You would know what it is. So for example, Papi High School off Qualington Road, 9777, whatever, the email address. Now, because most schools have a crest or something that represent them, you can put a picture in there. You insert a picture to show, to put it in there and fix it in the thing and properly. They say in the bottom part of it, which is the footer, you're going to put a motto. You can make up a motto. Papin's motto is aim for the heights. And you're going to do that. When you're finished, you're going to save this as letterhead and you continue down the line. I am going to stop there because I'm running over dangerously into your other class. So what I will do, I will tell you in the group, if anything, whether I can have a class early with you Monday morning or one of those mornings to finish going through this so that you know exactly what to. But in the meantime, try and do some of what I explained today. Understand that? Any questions?
Yes,
Any questions?
no, miss, Monday morning, well.
Again? Monday morning.
Miss, so when you want this, miss?
As I said, when we finish, I will give you a time when I will want. In the meantime, go and work on the thing. So nobody wait until me tell you when me want before you would tell me when you're going to need it. You understand?
Oh, remember I said Mr. Video.
No, you don't reach us yet. When we reach us, the next when I trying to explain the rest, you will do that part. Don't leave it. My marking name.